Israel just committed what might be their most horrific attack yet. They just bombed the last remaining Christian hospital in Gaza that was filled with people. Right now, the estimated casualty numbers are as much as 500. And Al Jazeera journalists have said that the scene is just horrific. Here's a video of the explosion. I mean, what do you call this if not a crime against humanity? And Israel's still trying to say they're only targeting Hamas. Like, you can't tell us that all 500 people in this hospital were Hamas. They're just targeting anything and everything that's populated with Palestinians. And I know there are a lot of evangelical Christians in the United States who support Israel because of some end times prophecy. I had that kind of ideology pushed on me at one point in my life, actually. But you cannot tell me that this is something that Christians should be supporting. The bombing of Christian hospitals that are filled with civilians, women, and children. There's no God who would support this. No good person should support this. Don't let them use religion to push you into supporting a murderous apartheid state.
In the bombing of the hospital in Gaza, the death toll has now risen to over 1,000. They are not even finding survivors. They are not even finding bodies. What they are finding is burnt body parts. There is no justification for this. This is a war crime. This is a genocide. How on earth are you still supporting Israel?
So Israeli officials are now trying to blame the bombing of Al-Ali Hospital on the Palestinians, saying that it was a rocket from Hamas which was supposed to go to Israel but misfired. Even though Hamas doesn't even have that kind of firepower, and Israel does because they get $3.8 billion a year in weapons from the United States. The Palestinians are oftentimes fighting with literal jerry-rigged fireworks. But our buddies at the Revolution Report pointed out that earlier in the day, this guy admitted that Israel were the ones who hit the hospital, saying that they had to because there was a Hamas base inside of the hospital. But after it was announced that 500 people were killed in the attack, these Israeli officials changed their story, started trying to blame the bombing on Hamas completely because they realized it was too horrific to take credit for. This is just unbelievable. The narrative manipulation here is insane. Shout out to the Revolution Report for catching these Zionist officials red-handed. It's not often that you see a politician get caught in a lie this blatantly. But, you know, this is your brain on Zionism.
Okay, we're all stupid, but make this make sense. You warn innocent civilians in a hospital to evacuate immediately, and then you bomb that hospital. And after bombing the hospital, you realize that the whole world's against you for what you did. And you say it was a Hamas bomb that misfired and hit the hospital. Okay, I'm gonna go with exactly what you said. But how do you warn people of a misfire before it happens? It was a misfire, right? Tell me what you think.
The tragic bombing of the Christian hospital in Gaza was just analyzed by a munitions expert, and there is no way it could have been done by Hamas. A Marine Corps veteran and expert in munitions, stated here, believes that Hamas do not possess the capabilities for such advanced weaponry. There's also this video that they posted. Listen.
Bombs out.
Bombs away.
Get ready to
Oh, I'll get my arm blown off.
They believe the missile to be 300 to 600 pounds. Larger bombs would have scattered more debris in the parking lot than other buildings. So the probable munitions in this are these, which multiple countries have. This, which the United States and allies have, which are known for precision strikes. This, which we and our allies have. But as I stated earlier, the expert does not think that the Islamic has the capabilities for such advanced weaponry. Then there was this from BBC.
The Israeli military has been contacted for comment, and they have said that they are investigating. But, it is hard to see what else this could be, really, given the size of the explosion, other than an Israeli airstrike or several airstrikes. Because, when we've seen rockets being fired out of Gaza, we never see explosions of that scale. We might see half a dozen, maybe a few more people being killed in such rocket attacks, but we've never seen anything on the scale of the sort of explosion on the video I was watching earlier, which, as you say, is still to be verified.
And there's, of course, this tweet from a guy that works at the Israeli government. Breaking. Israeli Air Force struck a Hamas terrorist base inside a hospital in Gaza, which would make sense because an Air Force would be able to use a missile that would do just that. A multiple number of terrorists are gone. It's heartbreaking that Hamas has launched rockets from hospitals, mosques, schools, and using civilians as human shields. Okay. But he did take this down and he posted this, clearly after he got caught. Earlier today, I shared a report that was published on Reuters about the bombing at the hospital in Gaza, which falsely stated Israel struck the hospital. I mistakenly shared this information in a since deleted post in which I referred Hamas' routine use of hospitals to store weapons, caches, and conduct terrorist activity. I apologize for this error. As the IDF does not bomb hospitals, I assumed Israel was targeting one of the Hamas bases in Gaza. It is known that Hamas is using civilians as human shields. It is a war crime and a crime against humanity. This should be the focus. The focus is, you didn't say that they didn't bomb the hospital. You just said that the IDF does not bomb hospitals. But you didn't say that they didn't bomb the hospital. Yep, not once. But you did say they bombed them in this tweet. Israeli Air Force struck a Hamas terrorist base inside a hospital in Gaza. That's the picture of the hospital. It is a war crime. What Hamas did was a war crime. They initiated the war. You guys are now in a war. Palestine, Israel. You guys are in a war. And war crimes are when you break the rules of war. Attacking a hospital is a war crime. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think Israel did this? Or do you think Hamas did this with their rockets?